thanks for coming out tonight. The Other Arc Ensemble and I, with visuals by David Schell and Scott Kent on sound, are going to do a performance based on my recent book, Close Your Eyes, Visions, published here in the Hudson Valley by Station Hill Press. The poems come from the second part of the book, when I learned how to see brief visions by closing my eyes and focusing on areas of turbulence in the dark visual field. Eventually, I found out where these visions led. Vision, July 9th, 2007. An old car slows down and parks at a corner. A man gets out and enters a candy store with a large window with green wood trim and a Breyer's ice cream sign. This might be a vision of a moment far in the past, a place I only went once or twice as a child, on Tremont Avenue in East Orange, a few blocks east of the Veterans Hospital. Vision, July 16th, 2007. It's the first moment of dawn. We're not going to see anything here. Some shoes and clothes strewn on the floor. Some glasses and plates left on the table. This plant reminds me of a ladder. The ticket office is quiet. A cup of coffee cools on the zinc counter. His car is stored on blocks in the shed. A cloud presses against the sole small window. A tire hangs from a tree outside. An elephant sits under the tree. The elephant has never been so young. On a flat embankment above a river denuded by the Army Corps of Engineers, eyeglasses glint in the grass. A purple bottle sits on the middle of the table. No one comes and sits at the table. Purple flowers line the edge of the garden. A blonde girl comes partway out the screen door, stops for a second, and returns to the kitchen. Light coats a giant white fungus on the side of a tree. Purple waves spread outward from the man's head in the black room. Purple sky fills the deepest cranny in the valley, turning it into a reservoir. Look, a mountain at the end of the night. You can see it if you lean very close to the aquamarine water. The lake has extra coves, extra crenellations at night. There's one light across the lake, a light, not a lit house. I want to say it's a red light, but it isn't a red light. It's a white light, a light. The sky comes down to us tonight. The sky touches us. The sky gets between us. A little bit of the sky runs into a storm drain. I don't know where it goes from there. He sees the side of her leg in the doorway, her left thigh. That's what he sees first. Round tables fill the rooms at a club on slightly different levels. He waits for his friend and his friend's friends. The waiter waits for his friends and his friend's friends. The room quietly turns orange. The fireplace has nothing to do with it. The fireplace is fake. A tendril climbs the wall and runs along the lattice ceiling. Will it drop something down to them? The sun rises over the far side of the lake. Fossils stick out of the brown mud at the bottom of a pit. Shafts of light try to penetrate a forest, but fail. You can see them failing at different heights above. A waterfall of light drenches us outside a hut with a bright blue thatched roof. Two floodlights at the top of long poles light up most of an empty parking lot, but an area between the lights remains dark. Steam rises off the lake in the sunlight. A rowboat is half hidden in the reeds across the lake. It's the only boat out. Several kinds of lettuce are lit by a psychedelic light. Everything white turns purple, and everything green turns black and is immediately forgotten. But the purple cannot be forgotten. It is the light of our illusionary, illusionist, illusory, elusive world. The true light, the blinding light, comes from over there. A tall, polite man, the next visitor. Vision, August 4th, 2008. There's a man with a goatee, a few gray hairs among the stringy black hairs. A bicycle racer bearing down on me seems to have wings. All of them bearing down on me seem to have wings. Man-made wings, not angel wings or bird wings. Water bubbles on the right side of a pond. A man has dressed up as a giant flower, his face just a small point in the middle of a gigantic rose. How can his neck support so much weight? A flame shoots out the top of a volcano, out of someone's head, out of a cigarette lighter. The flame turns into a broad ray of light shining down. black phone lines cross overhead. An old car pulls into the place. A horseman rides into the place. A big black spider appears at night. He knew there was a big black spider in the darkness. When is it so dark we can't see a thing? There's a multicolored elk, a multicolored sheep. A glowing white mushroom enlarges and then shrinks. A bush in the middle of the forest has a milky glow. Ghostly. They are beings trying to get back, coming to an event at the top of the sky. I can't make out what or who they are. They're puffs, tufts, like transitory clouds. A house comes into view, only for a moment. Clouds sail rapidly overhead in the darkness. It's all clouds now. But somewhere off to the left, a world is beginning. A horse, all caparisoned, heads toward me in a blonde light. The carriage heads toward me at a processional speed. This egg of light weighs the hemlock branches down to the ground. This egg of light, not the egg of a dinosaur, but the egg of a hill, weighs down the corner of the house. The fish's open mouth is fluorescent. The pig's head, the horse's head, glow. The racers have green wings and a transparent bubble for a head. I could duck under their wings and avoid being run over. The small carved creche glows. The hippopotamus's lower jaw glows. The cow, cat, and owl glow. Silver liquid runs down the rocks near a narrow yellow house, hills in the distance beyond the steep roof. I don't know where I am. I don't know where I'm going. Vision, September 16th, 2008. The world is dark green, with a face trying to emerge. The face of Lenin or someone of his generation. Very pale, pale white forehead and cheeks. A profusion of asparagus fern in the window, cars down in the street. I feel like I'm looking at the world through a bottle of limeade. I see a train station across a plain, somewhere in Italy or Mexico, at a dead time of day. I sense insects in the darkness. The edges of things have been electrified and light up. Vision, September 15th, 2008. I have no idea what I'm seeing, except that it's very bright, like headlights, motorcycle headlights, a swarm of motorcycle headlights, black motorcycles. The Lord does not have mercy on us today. The Lord is not our shepherd today. Those are inner voices. A boy laughs raucously, almost maniacally, like an animal. We're in deadly danger in this environment. It's the madness of David Foster Wallace, another inner voice says. A mailman drives up to the little mailbox on the country road. His teeth are pearls. Each tooth is a pearl. When she bends over, I see a brown baby on her back. A second baby grows out of her left shoulder. A cat grows out of her nose. Trees reach down into the ocean and pick up the fishing nets. All those gold heads marching into the sun. Gold-painted hair, gold-painted skin, gold-painted clothes. These poor construction guys can't finish tearing up the street as fast as they'd like, another inner voice says. The weak sunlight falls on the ancient frieze, drawing our attention to the horses. The horses were the stars. Each of those horses was famous, its exploits known, like a baseball player's or a football player's. In a train station, a lady looks like my former colleague, Barb Hayslip, but wearing a straw hat with a huge brim. This might be a vision of a moment far in the past, even before my lifetime. He stood up to those demonstrators. The governor stood up to the demonstrators in the office and stairway. Another inner voice. The afternoon is olive green, the drab green of a military camp, a muddy military camp in one of our long-past wars. Who's that kid smiling? That kid with a crew cut, jogging out of my field of vision, jogging out of the cabin, a collision, a mother and son hugging in the mustardy light. Rodin's Victor Hugo, maybe a burger of Calais in the background. What light is this at night? Everything minutely lit up, though the overall effect is one of darkness. The kids at the back of the group on the dimming Little League field hold up blue candles. A train rattles by toward New York. It's going to be tomorrow soon. Multicolored feathers grow out of the ground like small leaves in the white sunlight. The light shines here and there on each rider as they pass, on the rider's right hand, on the rider's right stirrup, on the horse's back flank. A 19th century forest of ship masts at night, lightning in the distance, seeming to pick out one mast or another in an optical illusion. A gnomish man tilts his head upward in the night. In this cosmically lit night, the stars fall like snow. I know I will look outside in the morning and the world will be covered with several inches of stars. The surface of the world will be covered with stardust. Vision, July 27, 2009. The sky is sprinkled with lime stars. Grains of salt float down. Lit clouds come toward us from down the road. We're walking toward Grindstone Point in Maine. A car emerges from West Oval on the right, speeds towards us, screeches to a stop. We all run. We never knew who it was. Two trucks press against each other in front of a white sky, like they're going to fight, hood to hood, hood piece to hood piece. But we have to move along. A glacier spills out of the mountains. A glacier spills from the sky, empties the sky. I'm in a marsh out west along the Snake River in Wyoming, where it's both dry and wet. There's this great unity. I don't know what it is. The sun shining over mountains, shining in my eyes. There's the police car with the realistic dummy parked near the general store in Teasdale, Utah, one late afternoon in July 2006. An intensely blonde woman speaks, almost white blonde, a 1940s hairstyle with blinding white fields beyond her. A man with a mustache leans against a screen porch post. He looks like my brother David, who died in a car accident long ago. He smiles, sheepishly, shyly. Vision, September 24th, 2009. A trembling white pyramid rises out of the black ocean, the black night. A pyramid made of salt, a flimsy pyramid. You can almost see through it. The wake is a cloud of stars. This stoplight has only one color, white. It shines in your eyes, masters you. The stream of light coming toward your car breaks into two streams, two thin streams that flow off to the left and the right. An identical ship is docked at every pier. They look unreal from out in the river, an optical illusion. Piano keys reflected on trembling water at night, dim lines of light. There's a glowing canoe on a beach, a face behind it all, with a floppy mustache, like the Yankees' Thurman Munson, who died in a small plane crash. Vision, September 28th, 2009. I have entered a land of gold auras, nights of gold static. A horse in the distance, in the sunny field beyond the fence. A troop rides toward me on horses with their bells and whistles. A multitude riding into a city like in a Renaissance print. There's a light half of the room and a dark half of the room. The light half on the right, a mixture of lime green and gray. Was that lightning? Animals fight in the dark. They make me twitch. Frogs with glowing faces in the water at night. Wolves with glowing faces, their teeth bared in the water at night. Something at the end of the darkness, a small gold statue shining, a statue of a star. A gigantic black mushroom grows in the night. Inexplicable light lights up one area or another of the ocean. Where does the light come from that faintly lights the ceiling and no other part of the room? A white stripe straight down the middle of the night. A crude white stripe that dissolves back into the night. A car drives away in a wooded suburb, a bit of exhaust in the air. A strip of photos, spinning slot machines. A glowing tan high-rise is reflected in a lake. An old car drives along the edge of the lake, a 50s Buick. For once, I can see everything. The tiny reticulations. Whatever it is, armor, rocks, tufts of grass, wildflowers, a cliff. A great confusion at the bottom of a cloud castle. Light reaches into this nether world through a ground floor window, a silver light. There's a fake highway with fake signs, brighter than normal colors, everything made of plastic, more signs than needed. I'm floating in a dreamland here with dark terrapin clouds, a school of turtles. Outside in a garden at night, big-leaved tropical plants overhead. A snowy field rising at night, green in the moonlight. A small purple square in the middle of the dark green. It slowly disappears. There are things I don't know, can never understand. What is over the waterfall in the foggy canyon? Up the driveway in the porch on the right side of the house. The sleeper is restless, bombarded in a way we are not bombarded in waking life. Little surprise, the sleeper writhes. There's a bright purple box, the most beautiful color in the world, in the middle of a pale lime circle, and then black beyond. Purple box, lime circle, black beyond. Now a three-dimensional Baroque effect, vines hung over stone fences, moonlight on a swampy lake, a silver animal with antlers so festooned with flowers and vines, I can't tell which animal it is. Something very complex, carved from ivory, a gargoyle emerging from the crotch of a larger figure, leaning back in a chair. Boccioni's La Risata. The sun splinters into a world of gold fountains. Giant gold flakes break off the upper branches of the fountains, fall and catch on the lower branches. There's something about the way the light illuminates the partly open theater curtain, the Victorian house with a turret visible on stage. It seems to light up more than 3 dimensions. It's like you can see 4 dimensions of the scene. Would that be time-lapse photography? A movie? The trail comes out into the open. High orchards, stone fence posts. People stream into the tall arched doorway of a castle. An animal poses on top of a ladder in a fancy room, like in a Velázquez painting. Is it a dog? It has big ears that point straight up. It's a rabbit with the face of Mad Magazine's Alfred E. Newman. Now a weathered face, Lincoln's face, ringed by hair. Now a gorilla's face, something hideous, a dead cow's face, a monster's face, a huge bird or dragon towering over me. I'm floating in a dreamland here. I saw some things. What were they? Rural places, fields and hills, as far as the eye can see. What do we see or hear? It's early dawn or late dusk, astral dawn or astral dusk. A brilliant patch of light on the path, a bright area in the middle of the night sky. As the ivy grows up our fences, we become almost incapable of moving. Something is going to happen in the center of this dust. What you want are the branches of small trees with small fruit, the color of nectarines, but smaller. The brightness of certain places, certain corridors, shocks me. I don't know how to live in these spaces. That section of the street is just too bright. Why is it so bright? Is there a phone booth there? A bus stop? The clouds come from different places. They have different agendas. I don't fully understand how they fit together, except that they do fit together. And the wind is... Was that a shooting star? Is this the astral light at the end of sunset? Is it possible everything is made of feathers? Everything has feathers sticking out. The chairs, the walls, the rugs. Is that possible? Tawny feathers, the color of lions. Whose face struggles to come into view? Paul von Hindenburg's. Can anything but slugs flourish in this moist land? Mold or signs of wetness on the walls in the dark. Just a cloud above a chariot. Both who knows when, across the ceiling, all the grand dining rooms. Are we each riding elephants? A soldier's face, a woman's face with very pointed features. Is there a white face in the midst of the darkness? Long white beard, long white locks, one eye in the middle of the head, surrounded by a triangle. Vision, July 12th, 2010. A gold bar glows on the ground in a dark room. We watch the roof of a convertible retracting. A snowshoe mounted on a wall in a dark room. This man has a screen for a face with words written on it. I think there's something at the bottom of the swirling water, but there never is. Vision, July 6th, 2011. A bright raspberry object, lit from several directions, hangs in the middle of a black space. A gray contrail high up in the black sky. Right beneath it, a flickering American flag. A neon American flag with parts missing. A painting of a bright orange sweet potato against a dark green background on a black wall. The sweet potato is glowing, and then it fades a bit and turns red and slips to the right. What are we seeing here? A large white object against the black. A cat, a sail, and then it fades out. A small object, flame pink, in the middle of the darkness. I can't tell what it is. Different parts are lit up. An object the color of lava. It shrinks until it's just an orange dot in the night. Telephone poles along a road, along the water. A red, white, and blue earth mover with bright orange blow-up tires. A man high above me on a white path that snakes upward through plants with large, dark green leaves, a garden on a hillside in Europe. A crack in the wall becomes a bright blue, jagged window with a fire in the middle. We're all taking a trip somewhere, sailing somewhere. We're sitting high up on a lifeguard's chair. That is a witch's face. The witch slightly resembles my one-time friend, Melissa Bank, but with a bright orange face and little white teeth. And now we have the face of one of our presidents, Teddy Roosevelt or William Howard Taft, with a brushy mustache and wire-rimmed glasses and a glowing bright red object floating in the area of his face. Soon, there's just the glowing object, and for the life of me, I can't tell what it is. It's like a turd or a snake coiled up, or a weird pretzel, or glowworms, or glowing algae along the coast. Now a small object, glowing orange, the skeletal head of an animal with its mouth open, ready to clamp its teeth. A yellow number 1. 2 yellow patches on a dark bench where the sun shines through a tree. Small bright red objects swim in my mind. They swim up the yellow underwater cliffs. It's early morning or late dusk. The sky is lighter above a field in the woods. We're driving on a road through reeds and cattails. The car is going too fast on the sweeping curves. It's making me sick to my stomach. Vision, July 9th, 2011. Dark snowmen sit there, dark mountainsides. A dim light in the sky at the end of the valley. A dark dancer in a purple skirt. Only the skirt is fully visible. Something is trying to enter. At first I thought it was the sun. Later it was more like the moon. But it wasn't either of them. In the dark green and black world, not a single image emerges. Is this the end of the work? No. There's a white moth in the dark maroon air and orange fish in the sea. I'm lying on the ground. Green light showers from the top of the sky. The shower of green light leaves traces all over our bodies. Where are we now? In foggy tunnels. The fog is flowing toward me like water. They remind me of sewer tunnels, but there's nothing scuzzy about them. Anything more? Look for turbulence. There's some in the center, some along the sides. A dark spider-like object in the center, but it's all very dark. This is the very first second of dawn. Look through the small window on the second flight of stairs at the formal park behind the house. It must be a place I saw in Europe or in movies or in novels. A dark maroon space with white objects in it. Eyes, pairs of eyes, women's eyes in a Muslim country. It's hard to see things. A very thin man in a dark green shirt with a thin brown head against a black background. And these orange square glass vases floating in the middle of the black. The eyes of the darkness have a sorrowful look. The forehead of the darkness is narrow and pale. A searchlight moves horizontally along the ridge above the river valley. Why do I keep finding myself at the latest dusk or the earliest sunrise? These are 70s moments connected with 70s murders. A shark in the dark tank, partly underlit by an orange light. Is this a wagon train walking on a dry western plain? Maroon dust in the dark air? Look, a bright orange object floats in the black space directly in front of us. What is it? Longhorns? I don't know. Something abstract. A semicircle? A ring that has been broken open? Light shines into the black from behind and above, a dark green light. Now, the hairy trees seem to rise up toward the light and fill the sky with a hairy darkness. It's one of those times of day again. It's always those times of day. And no people are around, no human things. Perhaps clearings. Clearings are human things, but nothing more. Stages with no props, no actors, almost no light, very little sound beyond the wind in the trees, very few birds at this point in the day, if it's the day. A blue light is shining on a car at night, a car driving along a coast highway, the coast to the left, the coastal hills to the right. We stood and watched the remains of an orange sunset above a fence out west. Vision, July 19th, 2011. A disfigured face with a large mouth, wide open. Frankenstein hovers over the stage. Eagles balance on fountains. Scum floats at the stagnant edge of the ocean. I run across the driveway to kick the ball high in the air. A car parked in the tall weeds a bit off the road. Please, don't you dare, an inner voice says. And what if I see a movie screen, purple and silver? My son, I see a mass shortening, a mass shortening of flowers, another inner voice says. A warm light enters the darkness, blue spots, thick stars, a bright yellow god, someone falling upward like in a Baroque painting. A man in a white bathrobe gets down from a horse or camel, gray stones in the white sun, a white path into the corn, a silver eagle. Vision, July 22nd, 2011. A spider in its web trembles in the wind. We followed the car through the desert at night to a great bonfire. A set of false teeth sat on the card table, glowing as if it had a light inside. A stuffed fish mounted on a square piece of wood glows. A man with a concerned look on his face looks for something on the side of the highway, hot clouds behind him. What could he be looking for in the chicory and Queen Anne's lace and poison ivy? Perhaps a cell phone. Goalposts glow in the night. Goalposts within goalposts, receding. They gave you no example of this route or that, an inner voice says. The snowman is now as tall as the house. It happened accidentally. Why do you think it would be nice to restaurant workers at least once? Why do you think it would be kosher? Another inner voice says. The flame is at the tip of the torch, on top of the trophy. Vision, August 16th, 2011. A large plowed field stretches off toward a distant valley, infinity. A face looks at us through the night, the face of a race car driver looking up at the people around his low car. The sun glints off the steel wheels of the stopped train. Blue flowers grow in the black night. They change shape from circles to squares, to circles, to squares. It's night now. The sky is very black overhead. The sky is a black rock overhead. Is the sun going to rise from below our world? We are caught in a thick web of red stars. We get wet in it. A small window in a metal door at the end of a long corridor. A beehive made of blue sky, The nose cone of a plane pokes toward us. It looks like the brown center of a black-eyed Susan. Something is there in the gray space just beneath the porch roof. A pink sail in the night. It's a place where you're never sure what you're seeing. Is that a tree across the road or something else? What's it like there at the base of the trees in the woods? The pupils of his eyes look like buttons, as if he were a doll or a robot. Vision, August 20th, 2011. It's blackout with a mist of powdered stars. Through the car windshield, a reddish black sky. The end of I don't know what kind of sunset, in I don't know what kind of place. A dim corridor goes down and then curves to the right. A ghostly white canoe with wheels glows in the night. What do we see when we look high above us in a corner of Constantine's throne room? What did they show us? It makes you think they've sold most of what they have. A gray face almost emerges from the center of the black. She is wearing a striking scarf around her neck. Wouldn't it be great if she were here? She hates it there. Vision, July 3rd, 2012. Everything is very dim. In the maroon post-sunset sky, there seemed to be an island in the distance. An old-fashioned hamburger drive-in where cars pull up to the windows. A dark silhouette in a car whose windshield is splashed with light. And look, the battery's running out, an inner voice says. Bubbles on the surface of the water near the shady bank of a lake. The sun is a fire that flares from below us. The light rises from below and lights up the things around us. Is that a Native American chieftain with a tall headdress running from right to left in an old movie? Is that the point where the iceberg melts into the ocean? That white and gray collision? Millard Fillmore, something about Millard Fillmore, another voice says. There was a very light blue force on the right, and then it faded, sapped. What do we know about anything? Again, it's very late in the sunset, or very early in the dawn, out west, in the country. Animal eyes, close up, look at me. Vision, July 9th, 2013. We pass a big sign, no vicious bone, for an outdoor rock concert. A brown slat fence curving to the left along with the road. A yellow daylily grows from the back right tire of a VW Beetle parked in the weeds. Beyond, a green field with small yellow flowers. Vision, July 10th, 2013. A yellow construction vehicle forced me to slow down on a country road. I swung around it on the left and back into the lane. It was right after that a blue sports car shot out from a little road on the right.